love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm banked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it.
I came over, I ain't sober, I'm still drunk, that's hangover. Might run it back when this page over. You the best thing, I done slaved over. Gon' arch you back and been way over. It's overdue for that understressing. Over him, now you underdressing. Call me up and I come finessing. Like, ooh, we shot it, what it do, what it don't. Baby, you a queen, you can move how you want. You was rocking with me when I couldn't stay afloat. They ain't never saying nothing wavy to a boat. Like, eyes up, look at me, now I'm the captain. Brought the camera, time for action. Split the legs just like a fraction. Tuck the napkin, time for snacking. You a mother meal. Tell me that it's mine, baby, tell me that it's real. Hit it to the max, well, tell me how it feel. It's gonna be a minute, cause I'm in it for the thrill. Make her feel like heaven, she gon' put me in the wheel. And willingly, I wanna do anything she wanna do. I ain't even wanna boo, but this is what the karma do. It's hard to be apart from you, cause ooh, I
love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it, you.
I'm in love with you, so what can I do?
tongue-tied, twisted around your finger like a piece of string. I'm winded, chasing after your ghost is real exhausting. I'm in love, but I don't think it's what I thought it was supposed to be. Love story, no guts and no glory. How did I get so dizzy thinking of you? I don't usually get like this. It's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? Well, I don't usually get like this. 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 Reminded of how I met you, tried to catch you falling. Instead I fell off myself and I just can't stop falling. These wings are gonna flap for me if I keep waiting. Keep waiting, keep waiting, keep waiting, keep waiting. How did I get so dizzy thinking of you? I don't usually get like this. I don't get like it's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? I just wanna kiss you. Well, I don't usually get like this. Get like this. Get like this. No, get like this. Get like this. Get like this. She loves me not. This bouquet is all I got. I'm dreaming, or could it be a future for you and me? She loves me, I know it's true. Or maybe I'm the fool for you. I don't usually get like this. It's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? Yeah, I don't usually get like this. Get like this. Oh, get like this. No, get like this. Yeah, get like this. Get like this.
Feel like falling deeper. Cold nights 난 너무 싫어. 기다리기에는 너무 길어. 줬던 내 사랑이 식어. 기대만 하는 것도 난 힘들어. No, I can't, just can't. 가져 내 맘을, 놔줘 내 가슴을 다 바쳐 사랑하기엔 내 자신이 너무 걱정돼. 바보 같은 생각이야. 알아 멍청해. 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을 가지고 있어. 사랑이라는 걸. Oh yeah. Baby, can't you come with me? Can't you hold my hand and 가는 방향이 어딘지 서로 궁금해져 버려 애써 맘 졸여 하늘만 보면서 언제쯤 알게 될까 너도 나와 같은 생각을 하고 있을까 한참을 멍하니 보다 보니 살짝 어두워진 색깔 불그스름한 노을의 때깔 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을
You broke my heart a million times. Can't
Mic check,
count
1,
the
2.
times I made you cry. Oh, it's such a mess now, and we're burning out. I get so sad at the thought of losing you. I'm losing you. I can't bear the thought of losing you. I'm losing you. You're still perfect as the day goes by. Even the worst ones hate, they make me smile. I stop the world if it would give us time, yeah, to work things out, to work things out, to work things out, to work things out, yeah, yeah, to work things out, to work things out. Oh, yeah, to work things out,
Here we go,
to
y'all.
work things out.
What up, Sir Hale?
Can we be honest?
Hi, and Kai.
You're my comfort zone.
Heather Woods,
Whatever I say,
LaRonda,
don't let me go.
Steven.
I know you're angry,
What up, y'all?
babe, and I am cold.
I'm gonna jump right into it so
I
we can
get
get
so
done.
sad at the thought of losing you.
I got so much work to do.
I'm losing you. I can't bear the thought of losing you.
I got so much work to do. Here we go.
You're still perfect as the day goes
Good to see you
by.
guys.
Even the worst ones hate, they
We're here to
make me
read.
smile. I
Let's knock out
stop the
chapter 3.
world if it would give us
How to be stoic.
time, yeah, to work things out, to work things out.
I'm gonna jump right into it.
To work things
I got so
out,
much work to do today.
yeah, to work things out.
And it's already 4 o'clock.
Things out.
Ouch. It's already 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock on the East Coast.
To work things out. To work things out.
It's all
To
good.
work things out. To 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 work things out.
And we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rich People Read, where we read a book a month to instruct you in the ways of the successful through the power of reading. Oh man, my system is saying my internet is slow. Hopefully the video stream is nice and clear for everybody. Whenever I'm downtown and I go live at this time, seems to be a lot of I don't know, internet traffic of some sort because it slows down, but hopefully it's nice and clear. I'm glad you guys are here. This is another episode of Rich People Read. What is Rich People Read? It's a book club, an online live book club where we read a book a month to instruct you in the ways of the successful through the power of reading. We talk about the two ships over here, entrepreneurship and relationships. Entrepreneurship and relationships. All right. And then the books that we read reflect that. Each month we flip flop between the two. One book would be entrepreneurship, money, being better, get your money up, be a better person. You know, it's all hand in hand. The next one is relationships, marriage, dating, mating. That's the things that we talk about on this channel. And we like to read the books to become better people in those regards. And I'm glad you guys are here. This month, we're reading a book called How to Be a Stoic. Little known tips on how to cut through distractions and desires to become a better human being. I like to rephrase and call it not distractions, but bullshit. We like to cut through the bullshit of life. And we're learning about this book. We've already read the introduction, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Today, we're going to read chapter 3. It's only 5 pages, so we're going to knock that out, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm so glad you're here. I saw somebody hit the like button. Thank you so much for hitting the like button and sharing this video. I appreciate you guys being here. What's up, Fatty? I'm glad to have you here, Fatty. And all my favorite friends, Heather's here, and LaRonda's here, and Steven's here, and so many others. Hi, Kai. But we're going to knock this out. And we're starting late today because I'm just busy. You guys, you know what? Every time I think that I'm going to have some time to do stuff, I don't. And it's because I have an enterprise to run. I got great staff to help me out. But, I mean, it just takes a lot. And to run multiple brands is to run one fashion brand is a lot. Imagine running 7. 4 of them are active. 4 are active. 1 is kind of sort of active, 2 inactive. It just takes a lot to run one fashion brand. I got to run 7. So, you know, today we were discussing the rollout of what we're going to do for Bars Raw, and how we're going to get my lingerie brand off the ground. I have my lingerie brand and I have my my streetwear brand. And so in the streetwear brand, a lot of people are asking for the iconic t-shirts, and I haven't really released those yet, but I'm going to start releasing them now. And that's what we were discussing today. So it got next thing you know, 1 hour leads to the next. 10 o'clock comes, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And now we are firing up this podcast at 4 o'clock. That should have started at 10 o'clock this morning, but better late than pregnant, right? I'm so glad you guys are here. Hey, Alicia. We're going to jump right into chapter 3, the Cardinal Virtues and Understanding Your Sphere of Influence. I want you guys to read the description of this video, and I want you to get a copy of this book. The link to the copy of this book is in the description of this video. It'll take you straight over to Amazon. You know, today's day 2 of Prime Day. So for those that are on Amazon, today's the day to get a sale on all kind of stuff. I spent a bunch of money yesterday and today on some stuff that I can't wait to get. It's coming to tomorrow and Friday, my orders. I buy stuff that I need. I buy things to make life easier. Most of my companies are automated, you know. But today is the last day of Prime Day. Prime Day ends at midnight tonight. So if you have Amazon, get what you need, all the way down to toilet paper, you guys. You can get everything on Amazon. Also, grab a copy of this book, How to Be a Stoic. The link is in the description. I appreciate you guys grabbing it. Let's swing on over to our read screen. Hold on one second. Let's get here. We're going to put that on high value Shan. We're going to switch this over to Rich People Read. Let's switch over to our read screen, and we're going to jump right into it. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for listening. I know you can listen to music and bullshit and watch Netflix anytime, but every once in a while, you have to edify your mind with some information that's going to help you become a better person in relationships and a better person as it relates to your bank account, right? And what we're reading right now, it helps you become a better person in relationships and bank account. As a philosophy, the art of Stoicism. All right, so chapter 3, we're going to jump right into it. And no, you got to go, Heather Woods. You got to go. Today's the last day of Amazon Prime Day. A whole lot of stuff over there is on sale. I mean, like really on sale, like iPod AirPods, like the headphones. I got my set over there, AirPod Pros, but they're like $80 off. Apple never puts stuff on sale, but those are like $80 off. It's like now's the time to just go grab stuff. It's almost as good as Black Friday. Prime Day is like a second version of Black Friday. So if you guys are Amazon Prime users, today's the day to go grab the stuff that you need, right? All right, let's jump right into it. Chapter 3, Cardinal Virtues and Understanding Your Sphere of Influence. We are reading How to Be a Stoic, the little known tips on how to cut through distractions and desires to become a better human being. When it comes to your transformation into the Stoic way of life, the Stoic way of thought, two core tenets that you will want to keep in mind: the cardinal virtues and the dichotomy of control. We'll explain these two. We'll explain these to you and give you some examples so that you can get started right away. The cardinal virtues, which you will want to focus on here, are going to be practical wisdom. Practical wisdom is a proper understanding of what is good for you and what is not. Generally, this is something that we know on an instinctual level, but tend to gloss over when it comes to our daily decisions. Steeping yourself in the classic examples from Stoic literature can help you inure you to this. What up, Eric? Good to have you here, Eric. The next one is courage. Courage. Doing the right thing isn't easy. You know, that's really important. See, remember I told you this book is kind of help you on relationships and it'll help you with business, making sure your money's right. This one, courage, is good for relationships and entrepreneurship, specifically relationships though. Even though this is not a relationship book, we read that last month. Courage, doing the right thing isn't easy, especially as it relates to somebody else. Otherwise, everyone would do it. You are going to need to be brave to walk this path, but it is definitely something that you can do. The third one is justice. A Stoic, if you want to become a Stoic, right? A Stoic must always be fair in how they treat other people. This is something which you can learn by example, and the ancient texts have many great examples. And then there's temperance. Temperance. How much is too much and how little is too little? This is something that you will learn with Stoicism. It is important always to do things in the right measure, right? All right, so let's move on. The cardinal virtues expanded. Now, let's break down into their component parts with some examples. First, we will start with practical wisdom. One good example of this is drinking in moderation. I know a lot of you guys are some luscious out there. You just drink until you can't drink anymore. You go to party and you don't tell the bartender to stop. You just be like, give me another one. Give me another round. Run me another drink until you get sloppy goddamn drunk. That is not the way of Stoicism. You cannot call yourself a Stoic if you overindulge yourself in alcohol. All right. Stoics prize above all their control of the things in which they can control. Alcohol can relax you, but is it good for control? It is not wiser to focus on the mind more than anything else. Is it not wiser to focus on the mind more than anything else? Another good example is laziness. Okay. I know a lot of you guys just heard me give the examples on drinking too much, sidebar. But now I'm talking to you. Laziness. Laziness. Many of you are just damn lazy. In discourses, we are told, finally decide that you are an adult who is going to devote the rest of your life to making progress. Abide by what seems best as if it were inviolable law. When faced with anything painful or pleasurable, anything bringing glory or disrepute, realize that the crisis is now. Ultimately, we know what is good for us. All of us do. We all know what's good for us. It is the practice that's difficult. It's doing good that's difficult. You know how I talk about my raw wisdom. This is Mr. Shannon give you a nugget of raw wisdom to help you do better and be better. To help you do better and be better. The information that I say in that podcast every Sunday at 12 o'clock is how you know better. So most of you guys know better. The hard part is to do better. And once you learn how to do better, you'll ultimately be better. As a Stoic, you are going to need to exercise your control as much as possible. Start with small things and work your way up, and you will find that it is easier to do what is wise rather than what is pleasurable or expedient. Okay. Here's an example. Say you're at work. Some of you guys are at work right now. Some of you guys just left work. Say you're at work and you have a difficult project, and it is your habit to drink a lot of coffee or energy drinks in order to gain focus, right? You just slamming Red Bulls. You just slamming Red Bulls. You just drinking coffee cup after cup. As a side effect of this, your heart flutters and you find it hard to go to sleep on nights when you use this strategy. Should you continue using this for emergencies? You see, practical wisdom would suggest that focus exercises, meditation, or other natural forms of raising your energy levels would be a better option than just slamming coffee or drinking Red Bulls. After all, not being able to sleep, you will perform poorly the next day you repeat the caffeine intake. The caffeine method also is bad for your heart, which will eventually catch up to you. Yeah, am I the only one thinking Kevin Samuels right now? Am I the only one thinking Kevin Samuels right now? The caffeine method is also bad for your heart. He slammed 3 Red Bulls a day on live. Ain't no telling how many he drank when he wasn't live. Taurine, which is the active ingredient in Red Bull, the FDA says the human body should not exceed more than 1,000 milligrams of taurine in a 24-hour period. Red Bull has 1,000 milligrams of taurine per can. That means if you're slamming 3 Red Bulls, you're drinking 3 more. You're overdosing on energy drinks if you're drinking more than just 1 Red Bull in a 24-hour period. Got me thinking of my frat brother. All right. The caffeine method also is bad for your heart, which will eventually catch up to you. Would not it be wiser in the long run to develop your focus in a healthier way so that you can still perform well without taxing your body? Hey, Practical Absolutes, what up? Shout out to Steven. He says he doesn't drink caffeine or coffee. Stephen Day and Shannon Rawls are spirit animals together. Because I don't drink caffeine and I don't drink coffee, just like Steven doesn't. Shout out to you, bro. Courage. Let's talk about that. To do what is right is our second cardinal virtue. Often, rather than knowing right from wrong, peer pressure from others is actually the biggest factor in preventing us from doing the right thing. A Stoic must get themselves into the habit of standing up and doing the right thing anyway. The virtue is not only good for your own soul, but it is good for the community, and a Stoic serves the interest of both themselves and the community. So how do you do the right thing if you're worried about judgment of others? It's simple. Stop worrying about judgment if you are in the right. It is just that simple. Stop worrying about judgment if you're in the right. Fuck what them other people are talking about. From the discourses, we are told if you decide to do something, don't shrink from being seen doing it, even if the majority of people disapprove. If you're wrong to do it, then you should shrink from doing it altogether. But if you're right, even though most people is going to talk shit about you, if you're right, then why worry how people will judge you? Because you're right. If you always do the right thing, then you will build a reputation for it with the people that you come to know and love. People will notice you and then need not fear the judgment of others. You won't have to worry about other people because you'll build that. You will set a precedent amongst your peers, the people that love you, the people that you love, your family, your friends, your coworkers, that you do the right thing regardless of what anybody else thinks. And once you start doing that and you build a habit of doing that, they'll build a habit of knowing what kind of person you are. And then you eventually won't give a damn about what somebody else think, what other people think, because you'll always do the right thing no matter what. Here's an example. You've been given multiple tasks at work. right? Here's a quick example on doing the right thing. And you have a deadline for each one of those tasks. You don't want to tell your boss that you have too much work, but you know that the deadline for some of these tasks is likely to be missed. So what do? Your boss gives you some stuff to do, and he tells you when they need to be done. You know that it won't be able to get done by the time that he or she wants it done. What do? A lot of people would just miss the deadline and apologize later. And this is the cowardly way out. A lot of people won't say shit to their boss. They'll just act like they can do it. They know they can't. They'll miss the deadline and then they'll apologize later. That's the coward way out. Why not approach it logically? Logically. Prioritize the task, right, by importance so that you can focus on what needs to be done the most. Next, tell your boss that the deadlines are at risk and that you have prioritized the tasks and advise them which ones can, in fact, be accomplished. This will give your boss the chance to help you meet those deadlines. While it is scary to ask for help when you need it, your boss really only cares about meeting those deadlines. And they will ultimately respect you more if they know that you will inform them if you are overwhelmed or if you are given too many tasks in the first place. Pause real quick. Now, I'm a boss, been a boss. I have employees. Currently, I've always had employees for the last 15 years, at least. Oftentimes, us bosses know when we give you too much work and we push you to try to do it. But you do not realize how much respect that you will get if you let us know in advance that, hey, this is a bit much. I'm going to do my best. This is what's important. I'm going to try to knock this out. I'm just letting you know that this is a bit much. It allows me to assess your capabilities. It allows me to convene more resources to help you achieve your goal. But if you act like Superman or Superwoman and you just run out there and think that you're just going to knock it out and yes, Shannon, I got you. Oh, I can knock that out. Oh, really? Cool. Go. And then you fail me. You're in worse condition than you were if you would have just told me to begin with. Same thing with relationships. That's why people say, listen, if you're interested in somebody else, just tell me. If you're fucking somebody else, just tell me. You get more respect in advance than you do with me finding out that you failed me later. There is no shortage of people who would rather cost their company money out of fear or pride rather than ask for help when it is needed. Being known as someone who is efficient but practical and brave enough to state the truth will stand above all others in the estimation of many, including yourself. The next virtue is justice. It's important to know how to treat people fairly, you guys. Incidentally, this includes critics. While the initial urge when speaking with someone who is critical of you is to treat them poorly, think about this. A Stoic knows that the critic is only following their own beliefs, their own personal beliefs. And just as your beliefs guide your own actions, so is it for the critic. With critics, there's also a chance to grow. So when criticized, rather than take the offense, ladies, when somebody tells you you fat, ladies, fellas, when somebody tells you you can't afford it, you broke, fellas, when somebody tells you you too short, fellas, ladies, when somebody tells you that you're not pretty enough, ladies, when someone criticizes you rather than take offense, ask yourself, are they correct in their criticism? If the answer is yes, and it's something which you can control, so let's remove the height, let's remove the ugliness, but you can control how fat you are, ladies, and you can control how much money you make, fellas. If it's something that you can control, then they have given you a gift. I know you mad, I know you pissed off, you don't want to hear it, but they gave you a fucking gift. They have taught you a way to improve yourself. if the criticism is incorrect or it is something which you cannot change. No, I'm sorry. It's something which you can't wait. Yeah, it's not something that you can change. If it's something that you cannot change, then release it from your worries. If the criticism that somebody's giving you is flat out wrong, or it's something that you can't change, then release it from your worries. Because a Stoic only worries about the things that they can change. Critics are probably the best lesson when it comes to treating someone fairly. Remember, you cannot control the perception of others, critics or not, so don't even try it. Accept them or ignore them as needed. Exactly, practical absolutes. So you guys got that? All right, justice. Listen, if somebody criticizes you on something, remove your fucking feelings. Remove your attitude. Remove your feelings about that, okay? That's important. Now, here's the thing. Are they telling you the truth, and is it something that you can change? Are they telling you the truth, whether you like it or not, because the truth doesn't give a damn about your feelings? You've all heard that before, right? Facts don't care about feelings. Is it true? And is it something that you can change? If both of those ring true, then you have been given a gift, even by your haters, even by the people who envy you, jealous of you, and want to be you. You've been given a gift because now you know what you can do to become better. However, if you're being criticized and it's flat out wrong, categorically, statistically, measurably, where it can be actually quantified wrong, and or there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it, then don't worry about it. So brothers, if a chick is telling you, oh, you're too short, there's nothing you can do about your height, then don't worry about it. Because Stoics don't care about things that they can't change. Ladies, if you're not a beauty queen, in the terms of standards of physical beauty across the globe, don't worry about it. It's nothing you can change. We don't worry about those things that we can't change. We only deal with the things that we can. All right. Here's an example. You and some of your other military veteran friends, I'm a veteran, ironically, who are aspiring to be writers, have formed a writing club right here in Hollywood. One of your fellow vets feels that a story that you have written focused too much on the more extreme details of military service at the expense of expressing the mindset of your main character. They tell you that this sort of writing seems more like sensationalism, and that they feel it seems to lessen the contributions of the individual soldier whose experience the story is about. You have poured a lot of hard work into the story, and so your initial reaction is anger because you worked so hard in writing that shit, and somebody came and shot you down. They shot down your script. They shot down your book. They shot down your manuscript. You're pissed. You're angry when you first hear it because you put so much time and effort into it. But you also realize that they have a point. You realize that they have a point. You may have been focusing too much on the environment rather than the actual character. How should you react to this criticism? Think about it. You have taken the first step by stopping to understand the criticism instead of instantly defending yourself, which most people do. This is where we talk about accountability. Accountability is like kryptonite, right? Somebody tells you about yourself and fuck you, and I don't want to hear this, and it's just you come up with excuses and you start gaslighting and all of that, as opposed to introspection, saying, let me listen to what this person is telling me, process it, and see if it's actually true. And if it is true, then do something about it. That's what Stoics do. That's what accountability looks like. You've taken the first step by stopping to understand the criticism instead of instantly defending yourself. Thank them for their criticism. The initial urge to treat others poorly for criticism is a habit that you will want to get out of. A Stoic knows that in a scenario like this, the critic has done you a favor. With critics and others, no one can offend you unless you let them. No one can offend you unless you let them. So if a critic tells you something which you and others can benefit from, if it's a positive, even though it sucks to hear it, if it takes you further, better, beyond where you currently are, then why waste that opportunity by taking offense to it? Thank them sincerely, learn from what they have taught you, and who knows, you might find a new friend where you thought was only a foe. And from that point forward, your story characters will live with their detailed surroundings rather than simply peeking out from them. And then the fourth one, right, is temperance. Temperance, the amounts, how much is too much, how little is too little. And it is just as important as the other three that I just read. Knowing how to do things in moderation is difficult, but the rewards are immense. Before I continue, how many of you guys eat too much in one sitting? How many of you guys eat one meal a day? You just slop it down. You just shove it down and you good until this time tomorrow. You just say, fuck it. I'm just going to eat a big meal at one time, and then I'll just, that's just what I'm going to do, and I'll eat again tomorrow. And you got a gut. You got a pouch, right? You're a little fat, but that's what you do. On this subject, Epictetus tells us in his discourses, it shows lack of refinement to spend a lot of time exercising or eating or drinking or defecating or copulating, shitting and fucking, right? Tending to the body needs should be done incidentally. As it were, the mind and its functions require the bulk of our attention. Now, should we note that he doesn't say don't do these things, rather than that each should be done in moderation. Have sex in moderation. Eat in moderation throughout the day to burn the calories and not store fat. Drink alcohol in moderation. Sleep in moderation. Don't oversleep. You ain't got no business being in the bed 12 hours. Sleep in moderation. Okay? The Stoic focuses needs to be on the development of the mind. Everything else, if overdone, is a distraction to do this. And if you give way to the distractions of excess, then you are eroding your own ability to control yourself from within. Rather, you should practice moderation and increase your control. Learn to take pride in saying, no, I don't need more of this. I have had enough. At first, it will seem like an uphill climb, but each time that you exercise your will, it gets stronger. You'll see. Here's an example. It's a tradition at your workplace every day for you and some of your coworkers to go to the bar after work. You guys go catch a happy hour downtown, right? Or you shoot over to the spot and go grab a drink before you guys head home, right? It's happy hour. You got off at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You run over to the bar. You guys do this every day. This is good for you socially, but sometimes you find that it could be a little awkward the next day as you feel pressured to drink more than you would like and end up feeling less rested. You don't want to stop going completely, as this could have an impact on how you are viewed at work. So what should you do? While a Stoic ultimately does not care about the judgment of others, a Stoic ultimately doesn't give a fuck about the opinion of others, we do realize that there are situations where such judgment may affect our livelihood. Like, these are your coworkers, right? Like, you got to get work done with them. They work for you, you work for them. That said, it just takes a clever little application of the will to exercise as much control as you can over the situation. For instance, who says you have to drink alcohol? Who says you have to drink alcohol? You can ask the bartender to pour Coke in a glass that would normally use for rum and Coke, and no one would know the difference. You might be able to get away with going out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, ensuring that your coworkers still see you often, but not every weekday night. Control what you can, my friends. This is the Stoic way. All right. Now let's talk about the dichotomy of control. We got one page here and we're done. That's right, practical. And definitely not trying to overdo anything. Definitely not trying to overdo anything. All right. That's including when you go to the restaurant. Don't overeat. Don't let, my father used to call it, don't let your stomach, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. My dad used to always say it. Your eyes is bigger than your stomach. When you go to a restaurant, you don't have to order just big ass fucking appetizer, 2 appetizers, the fucking dessert, this big ass entree, all these drinks. You don't have to do all of that. You can order as you go. You know that, right? Stoics know when too much is too much and when too little is too little. Now, let's talk about the dichotomy of control. The power of a Stoic is the wisdom of knowing what can and cannot be controlled. We cannot control things like death. We cannot control things like getting sick and illness. We cannot control the judgment of others that they have on us. If you are laid off at your job, this was not something that you could have controlled. You just got laid off. Your job just went under. People just wasn't buying that product anymore, and they needed to lay some of the workers off, and you happen to be in the power. There's nothing you can do about that. The Stoic knows that understanding what they can control is the key to happiness. There is a caveat, though, however, in this, and it is this: you must exercise that control. Control everything that you can, ladies and gentlemen. For instance, if somebody insults you, if somebody talks shit about you, somebody says, Shannon, black ass Shannon, you so dark skinned. Black Shannon, oh, you bald, you bald, and you got a bald head, right? Shannon, you whatever the fucking, somebody insults you, as an example. This was something that you could not control, but you can control your response to them. You are in charge of what you say back to them. You can choose not to take offense to what they said. You can understand that perhaps this person is limited in how they can express themselves. Maybe they're just not smart. Maybe they have a limited vocabulary and don't know how to really talk to people. And so that's all they do is, maybe all they ever grew up with is a bunch of people insulting people, and that's all they know. You can feel pity that they must degrade others to elevate themselves. Sidebar, just today, we were talking in my Ask a Black Man Anything back chat with me and the other bros. It's 8 of us. And I insulted Chris. Chris Davis had said something. No, he was sending over some photos he was sending over some video clips because I needed to do some editing on Final Cut Pro, right? And he kept doing something after I asked him not to do it. I got frustrated and I told Chris, I said, what did I say? I said, I forget what I said. I said something like, this nigga's insufferable, or this nigga is tripping. I forget what I said. Chris wrote me back. This happened today, maybe 6 hours ago. Chris wrote me back and said, hey man, I'm not that. Hold on. You know what? It's bothering me that I don't even want to look it up. He said, I'm not that. And it's beneath you to call me that. That's what Chris told me, Shannon. Now, my first instinct was to be like, nigga, blah, 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 come back at him. But I thought about it. Chris was right. I had no business insulting him. Just because I was frustrated, and I had no business saying that publicly in front of my other bros to him. So I wrote back, I said, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. You're right, I'm wrong. And he said, apology accepted, and we moved on. That was literally the end of it. I said, my response was, after he said, hey, I'm not that, and I'm not that, and it's beneath you to call me that, Shan. I wanted to lash out, but then I had to think about it and say, no, my nigga's right, I'm wrong. And so I said, verbatim, I apologize. I shouldn't have called you whatever it was. I forget what it was. You're right. I'm wrong. And then I think I threw up like a black fist or some shit, like one of the emojis. And that was it. And he came back and he said, hey, man, we get frustrated. It's all good. Apology accepted. And then we continued our business and everything was fine. Where did I leave off at? He felt pity for me that I had to degrade him to elevate myself. Chris Davis felt pity for Shannon because Shannon degraded him to make Shannon feel better for himself. And I can't imagine any other reason why I did that. I must have insulted him to make me feel better. And I was wrong for that, and I shouldn't have done it. I fucked up. I was wrong. Chris was right. And if I'm going to practice Stoicism, if I'm going to try to elevate myself to become a better human being, I have to identify that. And I'm glad that he was able to identify it without coming back with an insult. He could have came back with an insult and talked shit back to me. He chose not to do that. So shout out to my man, Chris Davis. He's not even here. And he'll probably never see this, and I ain't going to tell him. But I'm putting it on record, and it's live, and it'll be forevermore said, however that goes. All right. Illness is another good example, right? If you find out that you have a condition that you will have to live with for the rest of your life. For instance, do not choose to spend the rest of your life devoting time to self-pity. Or do you just adjust to your new paradigm and control everything which is still within your power to control? If you are diagnosed with a disease or an illness or some kind of ailment that you will be inflicted with for the rest of your life, do you spend the rest of your life swimming in self-pity? Or do you devote the rest of your life handling the things that you actually can control? Poverty is another example. Many people, broke people, poverty. I'm talking to some of y'all right now who didn't pay July rent. Some of y'all have not paid July's rent. Today's what? July 13th, and you ain't paid the rent. Right? Times is hard. Right now, you down bad right now. You gonna figure it out, but you owe July rent. And some of you guys haven't paid June or July's mortgage or car note or insurance. You guys are back. You haven't paid your car note. Poverty is another example. Many people work hard their entire lives and never become wealthy. Believe it or not, some are still quite happy though. The reason for this is that they have chosen not to spend their time in resentment of what cannot be controlled. You see, a Stoic learns a proper perspective. Epictetus tells us in his disclosures that we should take this resentment and put it to good use. Remove it from anything not in our power to control and direct it instead towards things contrary to our nature that we do control. Simply put, if we must feel resentment over something, let it be those things that we have control over, which we do not yet control. Something that we have control over that we don't yet control. Maybe you should wish to exercise twice a week, right? Maybe you were afflicted. Maybe you just realized you're a type 2 diabetic. So maybe you should there's nothing you can do about that right now. So what do? Maybe you should exercise twice a week. This is in your control and it conforms with the wisdom of moderation. Resent that you do not do this and use that resentment to drive you to change. Feelings of helplessness and resentment are normal for every human being, every sane human being. But a Stoic recognizes that this energy should not be wasted on things that cannot be changed. Despite the public view on Stoicism, it is not about being a Vulcan, right? From the television series Star Trek. You're not Dr. Spock. It is about knowing what cannot be controlled so that you can focus on what can be controlled. Once you learn this lesson and only start looking at the things which you can change, then achieving your happiness is a thing that is very much within your grasp. Let's discuss some practical examples. Here's example number 1. Your mother-in-law, fellas or ladies, your mother-in-law hates your guts and hated you for years. You married a woman or you married a man and their mother hates your ass. And they always hated your ass, right? A Stoic can control only their own feelings and viewpoints. With that said, another can offend you if you let them. Consider that letting this person offend you is giving them power and control over you. And decide that civility might be the only approach available. Just because they hate you doesn't mean that you got to go back and do something or hate them. Civility might be the best option. Another example. You just got laid off from your job because of COVID or because they're downsizing or whatever reason. You just got laid off. Since you can't control the fact that you got laid off, focus on what you can control, ladies and gentlemen. You can file for unemployment, right? You can set yourself a schedule for how many jobs you intend to apply each day. You can say, I'm going to apply to 10 jobs before noon every day, 7 days a week, period. 10 jobs. I'm doing 70 applications a week, 10 per day, all before noon. You can take some of the extra free time that you have to pursue that dream of becoming a writer, as an example. As you can see, there are many, many things you can do instead of just sitting around and feeling defeated. Why not choose to feel productive and comfortable in the fact that you are doing everything that you can to change the situation? And the last example, number 3, as a homemaker or a stay-at-home father, you are depressed that you are working a full-time job that doesn't draw you a physical income. Ladies, this is especially for you. You're a stay-at-home mom and you work hard just being a stay-at-home mom, but you don't get a paycheck for that every Friday. And that makes you sad. It's affecting your overall happiness. Even though you love taking care of your kids, you just can't leave the house to take even a part-time job because it's too much to be a stay-at-home mom. This is a great example of where you need to know where you can take control. You cannot control the fact that the children need to be cared for. There's nothing you can do about that. The kids have to be taken care of, right? Beyond ensuring that it happens. Can you control drawing an income? Oh, yes, this is possible. Online businesses can be set up, for instance, as an example. Sitting around being mad that you don't have a place to go to clock in and go to the employee parking lot and go to your desk. Don't be sad for that. In a strategy called drop shipping, you don't even have to have stock. You decide on a third-party vendor to use as a supplier and then set up a website where people can decide on the items from this vendor, place their orders, and then you forward them to the vendor who ships them to your customer. No stock or warehouse needed, just a pretty page and a forwarding system. Some people obtain items from estate sales or garage sales and clean them up for reselling on eBay or Amazon. You can even do some writing in your spare time to earn money from home and still take care of the kids. Remember, my friends, don't despair over what you cannot control. Stoics don't do that. We don't trip off of the shit that we can't control. As a Stoic, you should analyze the scenario, identify or brainstorm what you can control, and then make it happen. Every scenario is an opportunity, and manipulating your perspective is the Stoic way. It's just that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done for the day. Shout out to my man, Bolo.
Hoo-ah!
Bolo is in the house. What up, big bro? Good to have you here, man. Good to have you here, Bolo. Bolo is a Stoic, whether Bolo knows it or not. He lives a Stoic philosophy in a lot of ways. You can see it the way he just interacts with people right here on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for pulling up. That's it, chapter 3. Tomorrow we're gonna Friday, we're gonna knock out chapter 4. Please subscribe to the channel. Like this video, share it to your Facebook page. I appreciate you if you do that. Join the SR Army, not the US Army, the SR Army, where we take your lives to the next level. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here and listening at me read to you these books that we get. I'm glad you guys are here listening at me read to you these books. Let's make ourselves better people than we were the day before. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Remember, reading is the best way to expand your mind and body. And you, my friends, you are dismissed.
Yeah.
Escucha. En mí o en tu habitación, solo los 2 segundos que hay que detener. Porque si no siento tu voz o tu olor, te extraño y te quiero ver. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Me haces falta, bebé. Dime qué tengo que hacer pa' tenerte de una vez, pa' no poderte perder. Dulce, eres mi bombón. Te quiero melocotón. Por ti corro un maratón. Solo de la dirección. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. Pa' mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Mira, somos perfectos, es algo indiscutible. Mi estilo y tu estilo no están disponibles. Solo soy sensible cuando te tengo porque eres irresistible. Tus labios combinan con tus ojos, porque eres tan pretty que hasta yo de eso miento. Chica, necesito mis anteojos. Quiero verte en noche hermosa de todos modos. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. A mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada.